No, I haven't spoken to Harry.
Whenever the Prince of Wales sends me a message and says, I need you to do this or be there, it's always a yes. So when Catherine's asked me to be part of the foundation, I was very honoured, very privileged.
The most special moment for me was when I received my OBE.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel where the whispers of celebrity and royal.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel where the whispers of celebrity and royalty collide in the most unexpected and dramatic ways. Today, we are unpacking a tale that has the tabloids in an absolute frenzy and social media lighting up like a massive fireworks display. A global icon, a man who has conquered both football pitches and fashion runways, has just delivered a polite, yet devastatingly pointed snub to one of Hollywood's most talked about figures. I don't know her. With those four simple words, allegedly spoken with equal parts amusement and cold finality, he sent powerful shockwaves rippling across the Atlantic. We are, of course, talking about the one and only David Beckham, freshly knighted and beaming with pride, who has reportedly turned down a direct invitation from Meghan Markle to grace her latest, highly anticipated Netflix venture. But make no mistake, this is not just about a missed cameo appearance. It is a powerful statement, a clear line drawn in the sand that highlights where true loyalties lie. It speaks to old friendships that have gone sour, and it serves as a subtle, yet powerful nod to the enduring grace of the British royals, particularly the beloved Princess Catherine. Before we dive into the juicy, behind-the-scenes details that have everyone buzzing, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to stay ahead of these high society twists and turns. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? David Beckham isn't just a name. He is a global phenomenon. From his glory days captaining the England national team to his vast empire of endorsements and that unforgettable, raw Netflix documentary that had us all completely glued to our screens, David's journey has been nothing short of legendary. And through it all, he has maintained a very close and personal bond with the royal family, one that has weathered countless storms and scandals over the years. Remember his OB back in 2017? That was just the appetizer. Fast forward to June 2025, and King Charles's prestigious birthday honors list drops the real bombshell, Sir David Beckham, for his incredible services to sport and charity. The news sent his millions of fans into a complete overdrive, celebrating a man who has consistently given back through his extensive UNICEF work and beyond. But just amidst the global cheers, there's this simmering undercurrent of drama, and it all involves Meghan Markle. Insiders have been whispering that an invitation landed in David's lap months ago, right around the time that Meghan was ramping up her Archwell production slate. It was a spot on her much-anticipated lifestyle series, perhaps to share some tips on family, fashion, or even to participate in that viral jam-making segment that has become her signature. On the surface, it seemed like a natural fit, or so she thought. After all, the Beckhams and the Sussexes once shared laughs and good times at high-profile events. But times change, and so do alliances. What started as a seemingly innocent outreach from Meghan's team quickly unraveled into a tale of rejection and stunning revelation. David's response was a firm no, wrapped in those infamous four words that echo a certain diva's past quip. And just to twist the knife a little deeper, he then chose a moment that was very close to Catherine's heart to publicly flaunt his new, prestigious title. This story peels back the intricate layers of celebrity envy, deep-seated royal reverence, and the quiet, powerful plays that keep the world of fame and fortune spinning. Stick around as we explore how one man's personal honor became a powerful shield for tradition. Now, let's rewind a bit and set the scene on how David Beckham became the unofficial, yet undeniable, ambassador for British royalty in the eyes of so many around the world. It is no secret that David's natural charisma has always drawn him into the most elite circles, but his personal ties to the House of Windsor run much deeper than most celebrity endorsements. Back in the early 2000s, as he was dazzling on the field for Manchester United and Real Madrid, David and Victoria were already rubbing shoulders with the likes of a young Prince William at exclusive charity galas. Those were the days of effortless glamour, where football royalty met actual royalty without even a hint of awkwardness. Fast forward to the wedding of the century in 2011, and there they were, David and Victoria, front and center at William and Catherine's big day, exuding that perfect, respectful blend of star power and reverence. Insiders from that time recall David chatting animatedly with the groom, sharing personal stories about the immense pressure of living under the global spotlight, stories that resonated deeply on both sides. It wasn't just a surface-level friendship. David genuinely admired the way that Prince William was able to balance his immense sense of duty with his deep commitment to his family, a blueprint that he and Victoria were actively following in raising their own famous brood. And as for Catherine, she has always been the quiet favorite. Sources close to the Beckham family say that David has a real soft spot for her incredible poise, especially after her recent, serious health challenges. He made headlines in early 2024 by discreetly visiting her in the hospital, a powerful gesture that spoke volumes without needing a single word. There were no cameras, no fanfare, just a true friend showing up when it mattered most. That deep sense of loyalty did not go unnoticed by the palace. When the Sussexes first entered the picture around 2017, the Beckhams graciously extended an olive branch, with invitations to private dinners and offering their support during Meghan's early, difficult days in London. It all seemed so promising at first. Victoria even reportedly offered Meghan some friendly fashion advice, or so the rumors went. But the cracks in that friendship appeared very fast. Whispers of leaked stories to the press soured things almost immediately, with David reportedly fuming over accusations that he was the source of the leaks. By 2018, the fallout was becoming public knowledge, with the Beckhams not receiving an invite to the exclusive Sussex wedding reception, despite their prominent appearance at the ceremony itself. The tension simmered, eventually boiling over in a series of interviews and subtle acts of social media shade. David's own Netflix documentary in 2023 became a smash hit, completely overshadowing Harry and Meghan's own series, which critics had widely panned for lacking authenticity. And let's not forget the Great Jam saga of earlier this year. Meghan's, as ever, brand launched with a huge amount of hype, featuring her homemade strawberry spread as a symbol of simple, rustic living. David, in a move of pure cheekiness, countered with his own Beck's Jam, a plum preserve he showcased in a video that had Victoria's voiceover dripping with playful wit. Fans ate it up, literally and figuratively, seeing it as a not-so-subtle jab at Meghan's polished, but often perceived inauthenticity. But back to the royals, David's commitment to the crown shone through in small, consistent acts, like his vocal support for England's teams during events with royal patrons. When Catherine took on more visible roles after her recovery, David was among the first celebrities to publicly praise her incredible resilience. It is this rich and complex backdrop that makes his recent move so incredibly telling. As Meghan's invitation arrived via email from Archwell, outlining a segment on blending fame with family life, David paused. His advisors suggested it could be a way to bridge old gaps, but his gut said otherwise. The decision to decline wasn't impulsive. It was rooted in years of quiet allegiance to the core of the monarchy. And with his knighthood fresh in his mind, it felt like the perfect time to reaffirm where his heart truly lies. All right, let's get to the very heart of the drama, that fateful invitation from Meghan Markle. In early 2025, as Archwell was buzzing with ambitious plans for Meghan's next big Netflix project after the mixed reception to her previous endeavors, she was pivoting to something warmer, more relatable. It was a lifestyle show, tentatively titled As Ever Moments, which would feature cozy chats, cooking demos, and a roster of celebrity guests sharing slices of their everyday lives. Meghan, ever the strategist, saw David Beckham as the ideal catch for her show. He has the global appeal, the devoted family man image, and that undeniable, world-famous charm. An email went out through their mutual contacts, polite and incredibly enticing. David, it reportedly read, "We would love for you to join us for an episode on balancing legacy with personal joy. Your story with Victoria and the kids would inspire so many." It even hinted at tying in his extensive charity work, a clear nod to his long-standing UNICEF ambassadorship. On paper, it screamed win-win. Meghan could borrow some of David's immense star power to boost her struggling brand, while he would get some valuable exposure to her massive American audience. But behind the scenes, the air was thick with a history of bad blood. Sources say that Meghan's team pushed very hard for the appearance, believing that the old friendship could be rekindled for the cameras. After all, their son, Brooklyn Beckham, had been seen dining with Harry and Meghan just a few months prior, despite the family whispers of discord. Victoria reportedly wasn't thrilled about it, but David had played the role of diplomat. Yet, as the proposal from Meghan sat in his inbox, the doubts began to creep in. His friends recall him musing over dinner, why now? After all the water that has gone under the bridge. The scars from their feud were still fresh. There were the leaked texts from 2017, where David had vented his frustration over press intrusions that were being blamed on him. Meghan's camp, of course, denied any involvement, but the trust between the two couples had completely eroded. Public spats didn't help, like Victoria's alleged eye rolls at Meghan's fashion choices or David's pointed silence during the Sussexes docuseries promotions. As the weeks passed, David's team carefully crafted a response. There was no outright hostility, but the boundaries were made crystal clear. "Thank you for the kind offer," it read, "but our schedules simply don't align, and David's commitments to his UK-based projects must take precedence." But off the record, that is when the real tea was spilled. An associate who is very close to the Beckhams let it slip that when David was asked about it, he simply quipped, "I don't know her," with a laugh that carried a significant amount of weight. It wasn't meant with malice, it was pure detachment, a clear and final signal that the chapter between them was officially closed. Meghan was reportedly stung by the rejection. Insiders say she viewed it as a major personal slight, especially with her new show desperately needing A-list star wattage to compete with its rivals, including Victoria's own Netflix deal that was in the works. The rejection rippled out, fueling a new wave of online chatter. Posts on X exploded with memes that juxtaposed David's jam video against Meghan's, captioned, "When Sir David says no." But David's mind was elsewhere, laser-focused on his impending honor. The knighthood announcement in June had him reflecting on true legacies, not fleeting collabs. This snub wasn't just about a show. It was a reclaiming of his own narrative, prioritizing the bonds that have withstood the test of time. And as we'll see, his very next move tied it all back to Catherine, the royal who has captured the hearts of millions worldwide. The words, "I don't know her," didn't just echo in private chats. They became the unofficial tagline for a celebrity cold shoulder that is pure gold for the gossip columns. David's alleged dismissal of Meghan's invite landed like a perfectly executed mic drop, subtle yet absolutely seismic. It harks back to iconic moments in pop culture, but in this case, it's laced with a heavy dose of royal intrigue. For David, it was about protecting his own lane. After years of being unfairly painted as the villain in the Sussex Beckham saga, this moment felt like a form of closure. Remember the 2018 wedding fallout? David showed up, but the after-party exclusion stung. Reports claimed Meghan suspected him of chatting to paparazzi, a charge he vehemently denied. Fast forward, and the jam wars of 2025 amplified it all. David's homemade Beck's Jam post, complete with Victoria's sassy narration, went viral, racking up millions of views while subtly shading Meghan's as ever a line as overproduced. Fans lapped it up, with comments like authentic versus aspirational. Meghan's response was silence, but sources say her team scrambled to spin positive PR. David's refusal, though, went deeper. His advisors had urged caution, warning him of the potential backlash from Meghan's loyal fanbase, but he stood firm, reportedly telling his close pals, "I've got my family, my honors, and my real friends. I have no need for any more drama." The timing of it all was impeccable, coinciding perfectly with the buzz around his knighthood. As the grand ceremony at Buckingham Palace approached, David leaned even further into his royal ties, deliberately avoiding any whiff of Hollywood crossovers. Publicly, he kept it classy, posting on social media about his immense gratitude to the king and reflecting on his long journey. But privately, the story of the snub circulated among the elite circles, with one insider noting, it was liberating for him. He no longer has to walk on eggshells. And what was the fallout? Meghan's show pressed on without him, but whispers of casting woes soon emerged. Meanwhile, David's own stock soared, with the success of his documentary serving as a stark contrast to the Sussexes' ongoing struggles for credibility. This moment crystallized a clear divide: old money versus new fame, tradition versus reinvention. And in choosing the former, David wasn't just declining an invitation. He was drawing a firm boundary that honored his deep-seated roots. But the story truly heats up when you factor in Catherine. David's support for her has been unwavering, from those private hospital visits to his public praise during her return to royal duties. This snub, in essence, only amplified that loyalty, positioning him as a steadfast and powerful ally in a world of shifting sands. Enter the crown jewel of the story, Sir David Beckham's knighthood, an honor that capped decades of dedication and sent ripples through both the sports and society circles. Announced in King Charles's birthday honors on June 13, 2025, the news was met with pure jubilation, marking the end of a long, patient wait. David, at 50 years old, had earned his OB years prior, but the full Sir title had eluded him amidst whispers of a past tax scandal. This time, it was unequivocal recognition for his incredible football legacy, his sharp business acumen, and his extensive charitable impacts, from malaria campaigns to children's education initiatives. The palace statement was succinct, praising his inspirational leadership on and off the pitch. David's reaction was pure class. In interviews, he teared up, dedicating the honor to Victoria, his kids, and the fans who have been with me every step of the way. The ceremony at Buckingham Palace loomed as a spectacle, with David kneeling before the king in a tailored suit that screamed understated elegance. But what elevated this moment beyond a personal triumph was its timing, right in the midst of the Meghan drama. Just weeks after he had rejected her invite, the knighthood felt like a powerful validation from the very establishment that David holds so dear. Insiders say he viewed it as a direct nod to his loyalty, especially as royal watchers speculated on his alignment. It's no coincidence, then, that his very first post-ceremony appearance was designed to flaunt the title in a setting that was directly tied to Catherine. The event was a charity gala supporting children's health, a cause that echoes Catherine's own early years' work. David arrived with his pin gleaming, and in his speeches, he wove in subtle tributes to those who serve with grace under pressure, a clear hat tip to the Princess of Wales. Social media erupted with posts hailing him as the people's knight and contrasting his grounded vibe with flashier celebrity pursuits. This wasn't about ego for David. It was a milestone that reaffirmed his British identity. And in the shadow of the snub, it underscored a conscious choice: honors from heritage over Hollywood handouts. As one pal put it, Sir David's not chasing spotlights. He's basking in the one he's earned. With his knighthood now secured, David didn't let it gather dust. He proudly showcased it in a way that brilliantly spotlighted his unwavering support for Princess Catherine. Days after the ceremony, he stepped out at a Windsor-adjacent event, with the title Sir front and center on all the invitations and name tags. But the real magic happened at a low-key garden party in July 2025, an event that was hosted by the Royal Foundation for Early Childhood Development, Catherine's own passion project. David, with Victoria by his side, arrived looking every bit the knight, mingling with patrons and sharing easy laughs. There was no overt drama, but his very presence screamed of solidarity. Sources say that Catherine, looking radiant after her recovery, appreciated the gesture immensely. David has been a rock, one attendee shared. He spoke so glowingly of her strength, calling her the heart of the family. It was a subtle but powerful piece of shade thrown at the Sussex narrative, a clear emphasis on unity over division. David's history with Catherine runs deep. That 2024 hospital visit, which was unpublicized until much later, showed his genuine concern for her during her toughest times. Now, as Sir David, he amplified that support, posting a photo from the charity event with a carefully worded caption, "Honored to support causes close to home. Grateful for leaders like those who are shaping tomorrow." fans immediately decoded it as a pro-Catherine message, especially in the context of her own stepped-up royal duties. This wasn't a coincidence. It was calculated warmth. Insiders revealed that David had turned down other high-profile invites in order to prioritize these events, reportedly saying, "Family and friends first, always." This loyalty, born of shared values, highlights exactly why the snub to Meghan resonated so deeply. This saga underscores a seismic shift in how celebrities engage with royalty. In the past, stars might have chased clout by cozying up to any royal, regardless of their standing or agenda. But David's choice signals a more discerning era. He's not just picking a side, he's endorsing a vision of monarchy that's grounded yet forward-looking, embodied by Catherine's grace and William's steady leadership. This isn't about flash or fleeting alliances with Hollywood's latest royal-adjacent ventures, like Meghan's Netflix pivot. It's about substance, longevity, and a commitment to causes that resonate. The ripple effects are profound. For Meghan, this rejection stings, not just personally, but professionally. For David, his star burns brighter than ever. For other celebrities, it's a lesson. Aligning with the monarchy's core can elevate, not diminish, your brand. And for Catherine, his support cements a partnership that feels organic, not orchestrated. Victoria's role can't be overlooked either. Her style mirroring Catherine's at events signals a united front, a power couple backing a royal one. Looking ahead, David's move sets a precedent. Celebrities will take note. Siding with the Waleses offers stability in a world of fleeting fame.